afternoon, one and all present here. I welcome you on behalf of HRDC and Gujarat University. Today with us, dynamic and young personality, Dr. Jagdish Joshi. He is our director. He is provide our valuable leadership and support and guidance to our HRDC. He is a role model of our HRDC, whole HRDC of Gujarat, or from the 66 HRDC. He is very well-known academician. I invite you, Dr. Jagdish Joshi, sir, for
thank you, sir.
few words. Dr. Joshi, sir.
Thank you, Chandrakant bhai. I welcome all dear participants, honorable speakers, Professor Chandrakant bhai Brahmbhatt, who is a professor of Human Resource Development Center of Gujarat University, and the staff of HRDC, Professor Preeti Mayani ji. Due to some unavoidable circumstances, it is not possible for her to be with us for a moment. To this UGC-sponsored webinar on climate change on this 19th February 2021. Friends, when we are organizing this webinar by Gujarat University and HRDC of Gujarat University, I feel that you should have some idea about what Gujarat University is. I would like to give you some brief idea about Gujarat University. Gujarat University is number one in Gujarat state as far as the ranking of institutional ranking framework is concerned. The State Education Council is known as KCG in Gujarat, Knowledge Consortium of Gujarat, and that has conducted GSIRF, that is Gujarat State Institutional Ranking Framework. And Gujarat University is ranked number one, only 5-star university in Gujarat. At the same time, I'm proud to share, friends, that Gujarat University is ranked at 44th in All India ranking of universities, that is called National Institutional Ranking Framework. And we are at 44 number. So we are leading as far as Gujarat is concerned, and we are the only university which is in first 100 universities as far as state universities are concerned in Gujarat. There are number of patents on the names of students, research scholars, and professors teaching in Gujarat University. Gujarat University provides a very encouraging and motivating atmosphere to the teaching faculties, researchers, and other fellow people who would like to work on various aspects related to education and research. And as a result, our many papers are published in Nature and many other reputed scholarly journals of the world. We have entered in MOU with many institutions which are vibrant and which are similarly result-oriented. Today only in Gujarat University, we have some foreign visitors and some guests and some scholars who are discussing on various avenues with Gujarat University. We are leading as far as startup and innovation is concerned in India. The startup and innovation policy for universities have been drafted by Government of India and Government of Gujarat, and Gujarat University has played a vital role in the draft of that policy. We are supporting our forces, our defense system, and our mechanism of economy. If I talk about the forces, Army, Air Force, Defense, DRDO, we are supporting all these aspects of Indian forces in different ways of startup and innovation. So I welcome once again you to this spectacular University of Gujarat. This university was established in 1949 and it is thriving and vibrant University of Gujarat. If I say little few words about HRDC of Gujarat University, this Human Resource Development Center of Gujarat University is one of pioneering center in India. It was established in 1987 when the first lot of academic staff colleges were established. And we are number one as far as ranking of NAC is concerned in Gujarat. We are on number 15 as far as NAC ranking is concerned in all over India. We have developed various programs. We have delivered various different kind of programs, and we did a lot of innovation. And I would like to tell you, friends, that cannot happen without the support of the leaders and without the support of the team. So I would like to tell you, friends, today also we have blessings of Honorable Vice Chancellor of Gujarat University, Dr. Himanshu Pandya. And the HRDC is very lucky that he always gets constant motivation, support, and blessing from the Vice Chancellor. I would like to thank the Vice Chancellor at this outset. I would like to mention the Love of the Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Jagdish Bhavsa. He is always a force who pushes the HRDC and Gujarat University on various heights. And none other than the Registrar of Gujarat University, Dr. P.M. Patel. He is also so supportive and administratively so strong that he always stands as a pillar to Gujarat University and the HRDC. So with the support of these three pillars, HRDC and Gujarat University is flourishing. If I talk about my staff friends, Dr. Chandrakant Brahmbhatt and Priti Mayaniji, both are the strongest people in the HRDC who really work out almost all the programs. And whatever you can see on the floor, whatever you can see as the result and on the foreground, wherever HRDC is signing, there is a background work and a lot of hard work of these two friends and whole team of HRDC. So once again, I welcome you all to this live webinar in the series of the webinar. This is third of it. This live webinar series has been planned by UGC HRDC with the sponsorship of UGC. And today is the webinar on climate change. Friends, in literature it is said that change is the only which is constant. So change is something which happens constantly. If we wish or not, every day we grow. Our hairs change, our skin change, our teeth change, our eyesight change, and our mind changes. We learn a lot. We have many experiences every day. With every inhale and in out, with every blink of eye, we learn something and we change ourselves. That is how, and that is why I say that change is the only constant. Look around you, look inside you, how much you are changing. You will find many changes. Try to think of the days when you were in your childhood. Try to recollect your memory. What was the food when you were a child? What you used to eat and what you eat today? What were the games which you used to play and what your children play today? There was nothing like mobile. There were almost physical games, and nowadays you look at it, almost they are mental games, and they are the games with the screen. Look at the occupations today and the occupations when we were a child. The market, how the market changes. Today only I was talking to somebody and he was telling me that whenever I come to Ahmedabad, I find that there is a new flyover, there is a new highway, there is a new road or something new is going on, and we cannot really recognize Ahmedabad when we visit Ahmedabad after 6 months. So that is the fact with the world. Entertainment, enjoyment, school, communication, education, and what not. Everything is changing so fast. It was a time before 50 years or so, the changes were very slow. But nowadays the changes are very fast. So in this world of change, I would like to invite you to interact with our scholarly resource persons. Our speakers, our resource persons of today are, Chandrakant Bhai is going to introduce them in detail, but just I would like to mention their names. They are the star speakers of Gujarat University, I would like to say. That they are the scholars of Gujarat University with whom the name of Gujarat University is shining day by day. They are Dr. Bharat Maitre. He is a professor in botany department at Gujarat University. Dr. Nainesh Modi, he is associate professor in botany department in Gujarat University, and Dr. Rakesh Raval, professor department of life sciences. These three speakers are going to share their experiences about climate change with you. Friends, I'm sure about one thing, that together we can make any changes. And these changes should be for the positive and constructive side of the country. I wish you all best of luck. And I would like to request Chandrakant Bhai to take over. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. First, I introduce to Dr. Bharat B. Maitre. He is working as a professor at Botany Department of Gujarat University. He has 25 years teaching experience. He has 20 years research experience. He has a training program attended twice. He has published more than 50 national and international research papers. He has published 10 books. He has also a research paper review, and he is member of the many various university as an academic body. He worked as a nodal officer in All India Survey of Higher Education. Sir, I welcome you on behalf of HRDC and all the participants. I request you to present your session, sir.
thank you, HRDC Gujarat University as a team and as a leader of the HRDC, and my good friend Professor Jagdish Joshi ji, and with his wonderful team, where Professor Pritiben Miani, Professor Chandrakant Brahmbhatt, and the other all team members from HRDC, as far as the concern with the technical point of view or maybe from academic point of view. So mostly we are joined together in that academic programs like OP or maybe RC and some kind of that webinars which are mostly initiated by HRDC. So from my botany department, so in department at earlier stage we have only department of botany, but after 2007 the initiative taken by the university were established of the climate change impact management department along with this bioinformatics, and from last 2 years we have horticulture science and garden management department also. So as far as the concern with this departmental part and as a academic and research activity where I am working here as a professor and research guide. So I have an opportunity to take this advantage and share our knowledge to the society, to the students, and those who are joined by this uh, knowledge gather program. So I'm very thankful to all of you, HRDC Gujarat University team, to give me this opportunity to uh, present a topic regarding the climate change and the resource persons. Uh, Chandrakant Brahmbhatt said me about some good things regarding to my this academic and research career. So from this base, that whatever I have gained the knowledge, I share some of the content. Today, HRDC Gujarat University gave the title of the webinar, a climate change. They are all that climate condition and what is climate, which are generally when we are think about. So most of the people, those who are studying during their school levels, and mostly in the geography part, so different kind of this geographical distribution of the world, also the some kind of this climatic zone structures they are studied, the different kind of regions they are studied well. So knowledge regarding to on these earth properties, where I call for these physical properties. So these are many things which are regarding to that geographical part. But when we are related with the science subjects, mostly in the biological or chemical or physical science, so we are already studied about the sun parts, sun rays, sunlights, ultraviolet rays, infrareds, then study about the temperatures and study about the rainfall phenomena, study about the different kind of vegetation, plants, of fauna, like these animals, wild or maybe domestic animals. So regarding to that part, in our climatic condition or on the Earth's surface, where the atmosphere is concerned, so lots of things related to the science which are involved in it. So climate change is a very vast subject, and we have opportunity to take the lectures or our some content regarding to this. We have to deliver in a shortened period. So mostly the basic content from my part, where I introduce a climate change topic. Also, our colleague Dr. Naines Modi will join me and will take an interested portion of the climate change regarding to some religion. So he is also involved to present this topic, climate change, and also the renowned scientist and now academician Professor Rakesh Rawal, who are going to deliver his talk regarding to climate change with the human health. So the basic part, the human health part, and also the mostly the mitigation point of view, or the as earlier our ancient history which are said by the ethical point of view, Dr. Modi, which are gave the some content on that part. So regarding to this climate change is uh, mostly we are saying that it's not a textbook or maybe not a course, but it is a day-to-day phenomenon. Every day, in past, in present, or maybe future, that which we are facing, or we are realized there's this content of these climates. Every living organisms which are affected by their surrounding, all these abiotic components. So biotic components, and regarding to this abiotic components related to them, which we are regarding to this climate change management. So mostly the terminology, and day by day this weather forecast, where we are uh, learn or maybe hear some words like the weather, meteorological department, temperature, rainfall, then humidity, snowfall, fog. So in day by day, these kind of terms or maybe words which are familiar to us. And mostly in Gujarati language, we say that આજે વાતાવરણમાં પલટો આવ્યો છે અથવા બદલાવ આવ્યો છે. So there are some changes or some kind of these fluctuations in the climate condition or maybe in weather conditions. So regarding to this, we are going to talk about this climate change. So what is climate? What is weather? How its impacts on other living organism? This kind of content that we have to deliver today. So I share some points with the presentation, PPT presentation here. So UGC HRDC Gujarat University sponsors climate change topic. Here I have to quote the some content regarding to one summit just 1 week ago, 10 to 12 February, generally in New Delhi, where the World Sustainable Development Summit, which are held, and the summit is on the theme redefining our common future, safe and secure environment for all, will bring together a wide number of governments, business leaders, academicians, climate science faculties, and all the society members in the fight against the climate change. So in this forum, our Prime Minister, those who are give his delivered inaugural speech, where he said that global platform like this are important for our present and our future. He mentioned that two things will define how the progress journey of humanity will unfold in times to come. The first is the health of our people, and the second is health of our planet. Both are interlinked. So he also suggests that invest in our youngsters and work towards sustainable development. The road to fighting climate change is through climate justice, while pointing out the sad reality on the poor due to the changes in the environment and natural disasters. Climate justice also means giving developing countries enough space to grow. When each and every one of us understands our individual and collective duties, climate justice will be achieved. Our nation intent to combat climate change is supported by concrete action, which is powered by spirited public efforts, adding that the country is on track to complete its targets and commitment of the Paris Climate Agreement. So these are the words which are in the inaugural function of this World Sustainable Development Summit, our Honorable Prime Minister, those who quote in the last week. So I want to give this brief because in our Gujarat state, the state generally which we are starting the full-fledged department of the climate change as a secretariat department in our government of Gujarat in 2009. So initiation taken by our Honorable Prime Minister at that time, a Chief Minister of our Gujarat state. So along with this Environment and Forest Department, where the another department regarding to it, Climate Change Department. So after 2008 also in the central government of India, those who initiated and taken Secretariat Department, the Climate Change Department. So the role of the government, which are take the interest on this climate change. So earlier the words were the weather in the state of the atmosphere. Generally in our geographical part or maybe when we are dealing with the science subjects. So anyhow this interlink between all the physical, chemical, biological or maybe some kind of this geographical part where the weather term which are generally along with all the living organism is mainly concerned and is the state of the atmosphere, the degree to which it is hot or cold, wet or dry, calm or stormy, clear or cloudy. It's referred to day temperature and precipitation. So generally in the weather forecasting part or maybe day to day this weather reports we are seen or maybe where we are heard or read in the newspaper. So generally all this weather forecasting by this which give a point of these climate conditions. Weather is driven by air pressure, temperature and moisture, differences between one place and another. These differences can occur due to the sun's angle at any particular spot which varies with latitude. So mostly regarding with the geographical part and when we are saying that our Earth's surface where we have this longitude and latitude portions and our different continental proportion or different countries which are located at that part, and we felt that somehow there's some kind of this weather process or weather the phenomenon which are differ area to area. The strong temperature contrast between polar and sub and tropical air give rise to the largest scale of atmosphere circulations. Because Earth's axis is relatively to its orbital plane, sunlight is incident at different angles at different time of the year. Climate is a term for the averaging of atmospheric conditions over longer period of time. Over thousands of years, changes in Earth's orbit can affect the amount and distribution of solar energy received by Earth, thus influencing long-term climate and global climate change. So here some content regarding to the weather portion, weather part, where they all kind of work, because generally in the forecasting, this weather forecasting, but there's a longer term, longer period, we use the term as a climate. The climate is the long-term average of weather, typically average over a period of 30 years. Some of the meteorological variables that are commonly measured are temperature, humidity, atmospheric pressure, wind, and precipitation, where the mostly the cloud formation and maybe rainfall, which are the part which are included. So these are the major part which are included in this meteorological variables, and there are lots of the phenomenon which are in this atmospheric part which also included. In a broader sense, climate is the state of the components of the climate system, which includes the ocean and ice on Earth's location is affected by its latitude, terrain, and altitude, as well as nearby water bodies and their currents. So generally, in a broader sense, we are saying, so some kind of this geographical distributions, either it's dealt with this latitudinal portions, any terrain portion of that part, or maybe on the altitude or above the sea level part. So these are the portions, and this water bodies and their currents also, which are generally the in the climate components which are included. The climate of a region is the general state of the climate system and the localities of the world. Here, dear friends, that in a geographical portion, it's dealt with this some geographical parts on the Earth part. Mostly, it is classified in various zones. So, those who are studied regarding to this geographical zones or maybe climate zones area, where there are 2 zones, 4 zones, 5 zones, 12 zones, 18 zones, regarding to study about this climate, and also some microclimate study. So scientists or maybe those who are working with this geography part, those who are classified according to that criteria, their descript, which are having characteristics, locations, and where the weather or maybe climatic condition. So here a typical image of this one portions, where a different part you can see, where the in this upper portion where this polar zone, or the lower portion where the polar zone, where the Arctic and Antarctic regions which are situated where the very cold or maybe ever time that mostly in a year which are having a heavy snowfall or maybe heavy snow part which are around all this portion. જે ધ્રુવીય પ્રદેશ આપણે કહીએ છીએ ઉત્તર અને દક્ષિણ ધ્રુવનો. Then just manage this below this portion, that temperate zone, where the most of the part where the cold region which are having this kind of condition. Also there are some dry portion also, and near to equator where the 23 degree where which are involved up to the 0 to 23 degree, where this tropical zone which are involved, and mostly I say that our India nation which are in that particular tropical zone. So mostly in our regions where the different other countries where the mostly three kind of this climate condition which we have, like this winter, summer and monsoon, but the other rest countries where the only the summer and the winter zone where there are, and the monsoons or the maybe rainfall condition which are in the whole year, as far as the weather condition is there, it's have, but our nation which have the three distinct the seasons regarding to this climatic or maybe weather condition. So our nation and the others part near to this equator of the up to the 23 degree is the tropical zones. So these are the mostly the five zone part which are covered on the Earth's surface as far as the geographical distribution is concerned. So climates can be classified according to the average and the typical range of different variables, most commonly temperature and precipitation. The most commonly used classification scheme was the Köppen climate classification, which are based on vegetation. So generally, in a living organism, mostly a plant part, which are anchoring on the ground level. So the plant which are anchored by the root system. So mostly most of the plants which are stable on this Earth's surface or maybe some kind this ground level part of the geographical area. Maybe there are some others habit structures, and in ecosystems a different kind of plant like this algal portion or maybe others, the free float aquatic angiosperm pteridophytes which are having not stable or maybe anchoring a part of that portion, but the remaining all this plant. So these are the plant which are anchored by this root system on the Earth's surface. So mostly the others organisms like the microorganisms or maybe birds or animals. So by the mostly this motile stage or maybe they are transferred to one place to another, they translocate there, they transported there. So from one area to others, they are easily mobile. But plant part which are anchored to the particular area, which are generally stay along with this particular their ecosystem. So according to that, where this plant which are grown at that part is concerned, the Köppen which are classified this five part A, B, C, D, and E. E classified according to this zone that tropical climates is there. Also, the dry climates, which we feel that also the some kind of desert, where the cold desert is also there, or maybe some the dry deserts where the mostly the desert portion is there, or Leh Ladakh like structures where the cold desert is there. Then the temperate climates are there, continental climates and the polar climates. These are the five zones which are classified by the Köppen, and according to the vegetation, these five major types which are found on the world part. Regarding to this climate study, so mostly in our part of each and every subject, so we have some kind of history in it, the past of that part in it. As far as the concern with this climatic condition or maybe study about this climatology, the term the paleoclimatology is the study of ancient climates previously, or maybe in ancient era, where the climatic condition is there. Since very few direct observation of climates are available before the 19th century, paleoclimates are inferred from proxy variable that include non-biotic evidence such as sediments found in lake beds and ice cores, and biotic evidence such as the tree rings and corals. So from this biological part of the weight, or maybe some kind of ecosystem like the lake beds and the ice cores, so we found this some kind of this evidence of these climatic conditions. The climate models are mathematical models of past, present, and future climate. So, according to the study about the climate condition or maybe climate change part, so the mathematical portions where this different kind of models there. The climate change may occur over long and short time scale from a variety of factors. The recent warming is discussed in global warming. Global warming result in the redistributions. Therefore, species are expected to move upwards in elevation or towards the polars in latitude in response to shifting climate zone. So most of the part where the regarding to this world global warming, where the increase of these greenhouse gases, its concerns, or maybe increase in the heat part. So we filed this the global warming person. So in environment science, or maybe if we are study about this climate change, so we felt there's a global warming is the conditions where the every living organism which are suffers, and the harmful part or like this some kind of disease, or maybe some kind of this decrease of the yield products of the crop part also is covered. In regarding to this climate change, as far as the part of this theoretical or maybe statistical or maybe some kind of graphical work, a climograph is a graphical representation of locations, basic climates. So each and every part of the particular area, either we are talking about this urban area like Ahmedabad or maybe Calcutta, Delhi. So each and every daily the forecast or maybe weather condition, where in a temperature formation like this, minimum or maximum temperature, or maybe a rainfall condition during this monsoon season. So generally the measuring of that part where the temperature and this rainfall condition is there. So day by day they are reported and they collect all the data, and mostly they are put forward to the making of this climograph in that portion. The climograph display data of two variables, that's monthly average temperature and monthly average precipitation. Precipitation means this the cloud formation or maybe rainfall part is there. These are useful tools to quickly describe a location's climate conditions. So these are the various this climatic data concern. The amount of heat energy received at any location on the globe is the direct effect of sun angle on climate. So mostly, uh, generally the climate change, which are major impacted by this effect of this sun angle. As the angle at which sunlight strikes the earth varies by location, time of day, and season due to the earth's orbit around the sun and the earth's rotation around its tilted axis. So generally, these conditions on the earth's surface regarding to this effect of sun angle or maybe sun rays which are on that portion. Seasonal changes in the angle of sunlight caused by the tilt of the Earth's axis is the basic mechanism that result in warmer weather in summer than in winter. Change in a day length is another factor. Mostly that in our country that we felt generally in a winter where the short day conditions, and mostly in the summer that the long day condition of that past portion, and it's are generally impacted and affected by this uh, sun on the earth axis. Also regarding to this mostly the term or maybe world where the greenhouse effect. So in environment science, when you study about the pollutions, different kind of pollutions, so you heard the word or familiar with the term greenhouse. So what is greenhouse effect? And it's caused by the some increasing in the greenhouse gases. So it's the process by which radiation from a planet's atmosphere warms the planet's surface to a temperature above what it would be without this atmosphere. So generally, the greenhouse gases like the carbon dioxide, carbon monoxides, methane, and the others part which are increasing day by day. Either it is by the industrial point of view or maybe some kind of anthropogenic activity. So the increase of these greenhouse gases, which are causes for the greenhouse effect, and the warmer condition is arise, and therefore the global warming is now present day situation. So Earth's natural greenhouse effect is critical to supporting life and initially was a precursor to life moving out of the ocean onto land. Human activities, however, mainly the burning of fossil fuels and clear cutting of forests have accelerated the greenhouse effect and caused global warming. So these are the regarding to this global warming, the one of the major climate change part of on the Earth oceans. Some kind of this meteorological phenomenon vary listed of that part like this atmospheric pressure, then the cloud, then the rain, snow, freezing rain, then sleet, tropical cyclone, extratropical cyclone, the weather front, low pressure, storm, flooding, wind, temperature, or maybe some kind of this invest that like the meteorological part, an area with the potential for tropical cyclone development. So these are the a term which are day by day used in that this weather or maybe climatic condition portion. Also regarding to that part, this climograph, that ecosystem, effect of sun angle on climate, greenhouse effect, microclimate, national climatic data center, outline of meteorology, solar cycle, tectonic climate interactions, tropical marine climate, weather and climate. So these are the terms which are day by day which are heard or maybe learned for this part of this climate change. Also some kind of this natural disasters or maybe some kind of this due to the climate change or maybe weather impact, where the weather disaster like this extreme weather condition, where also some artificial or maybe natural disaster which give raise to or by this death toll, this jet stream, heat index, El Nino like climate conditions, monsoon effect, the heavy rainfall is the which cause the flood, or maybe if there are no any kind of the rainfall part, the drought condition is there. Also the increasing in the greenhouse gases cause the global warming, the effect of the sun angle on climate of that part, some kind of the deposition of that, the dust level, the fog, tide, air mass, evaporation, sublimation, crepuscular rays and anti-crepuscular rays. These are the all these phenomenon which are by this climatic impact. Generally, the climate change or maybe its impact studied by the various research and development portions, either it is by the laboratory or maybe academic. So there are three major types of institution where climate models are developed, implemented, and used. National Meteorological Service, the most national weather service have a climatology section. Universities, relevant departments include atmospheric science, meteorology, climatology, and the geography. Also, a department like us in our Gujarat University, climate change impact management, environment science. These are the departments where we are studied about this, all this concern regarding to climate change. National and international research laboratories are there. The World Climate Research Program, hosted by the World Meteorological Organization, coordinate research and activities on climate modeling in the world. So the attribution of the recent climate changes, effect of climate change mitigation, and climate change adaptation. So somehow it is a fact this each and every part regarding to this atmospheric portion, day by day, the weather condition is going there. Weather forecast, either it is a temperature part of view, either it is humidity is concerned, either it is atmospheric pressure is there, either it is the wind air part of particular portions. So these are the part which each and every day that we are filled, that is, which are having a weather impact, and in the long term we are saying it is a climate conditions. But anyhow, there are some changes in that part, so which cause for this climate change. But if we have to learn with the science portions, as far as the concern with the science uh, division, science faculty, science subject, so the effect of climate change that we have to study. So which are the impacts on that particular portion, either it is a biotic factor or maybe abiotic factors. So what are the effects that we have to study? Then climate change mitigation, that if there are any kind of the changes in that climate which have some kind of this harmful portions, so how we have to mitigate these things, that we have to learn from that portion, and we have to try for that part to climate change mitigation. And the climate change adaptations, if by this mitigation that we are control this climate change, but anyhow the climate change which are not having a such kind of impact or not it's mitigate, so adaptation is one part where we have to accept it. The physical effects and issues due to the climate change, like the abrupt climate change, then anoxic event, Arctic methane emissions, then drought, ocean acidification, ozone depletion, retreat of glaciers, sea level rise, season creeps, and shutdown of that particular climate change condition. The flora and fauna due to the climate change. So it is effect on the ecosystem, invasive species which we have, effect on the plant diversity, effect on marine life, mammals and the terrestrial animals, extinction risk from the climate change, and the forest dieback. These are the major causes by this climate change condition. An ecosystem is a community of living organism in conjunction with the non-living components of their environment increasing as a system. These biotic and abiotic components are linked together through nutrient cycles and energy flows. Energy enters the system through photosynthesis and incorporated into plant tissue by feeding on plants and on one another. Animals play an important role in the movement of matter and energy through the system. They also influence the quantity of plant and microbial biomass present. By breaking down dead organic matter, decompose the release carbon back to the atmosphere and facilitate nutrient cycle by converting nutrients stored in a dead biomass back to a form that can be readily used by the plants and other microbes. So these are the mostly regarding to this ecosystem components, where all this living organism with this non-living organism which are joined together, and the formation of this particular lifespan, life cycle of that particular living organism regarding to this atmospheric portion surrounding that part. Here, where the topic concerned with this particular portion, the basic portion which are indicate the content of this climate change portion here, but the vegetation portion, a detailed study, what are the impact of the climate change on the vegetation. So as far as the concern with this, all these biological groups or biological parts where there is some kind of this, mostly microorganisms are there, also some animals are there, birds are there, also the plants are there. So these are affected by this climate change, because each and every seasons, like the winter, summer, or maybe monsoon, or maybe some kind of this phenomenon regarding to the plant growth and development is there. Also the one phenomenon, like we have called it phenology, means the lifespan of the plants, where which are included, where the seed germination is there. After germination, growth and development, the shoot elongation, then branching, then apical or maybe lateral buds which are growing there. Also, the leaf condition is there. Also, the flower bud, then the flowers, then the fruits, then the ripening fruit, where this which are give the disperse to the seeds, the seed dormancy, seed viability, again the seed germination. These are the complete lifespan of this particular plant. So generally, in this physiological portions, we heard the term the photoperiodism and also the some phenological portion. So mostly according to this temperature portion, according to the humidity percentage, and according to some others this weather conditions or maybe climatic condition, if any kind of the changes which are major impact on the producing of the flowers and fruit condition of the part, also which are affected on the seed germination, the growth and development of the plant. So most of the season where we are saying that the seasonal fruits which are having which we have. So generally in the winter season we eat the guava fruit. In summer we eat the mango fruit, and in monsoon we eat the jamun fruit which are having. But nowadays somehow the any climatic condition regions, so in a year part, so it's ever that we felt that in some conditions that they have flowering, they have fruiting. So first of all these things, where the climate condition is there or any kind of this climatic condition which are changed, so it's a major impact on the flowering and fruit production of the particular plant. So in agriculture, the crop yielding which are also affected by this climatic change, because in a winter there are these mostly winter crop which are growing there, but anyhow the unwanted rainfall, in Gujarati we say that mautu. So these are the major impact on the part of this particular plant parts. So major role play, and it is harmful for the production of the flower fruiting and the yielding process of the crop plant due to this climatic change. Also, we said that such kind of microorganisms which are developed due to this unwanted climate condition. So rapidly growth of this microorganism like bacteria or maybe fungi, which are generally infected on the particular plant during that the flower and fruit production. So generally anyhow this production or this yielding will be decreased. So it's a major part where we are having such kind of this infected or maybe impact of this climate change regarding to microorganism in that portion. So I think that regarding to this topic that many more contents which we have, but now we have these two others valuable speakers, renowned speakers which we have. So I think, and I request to Professor Chandrakant Brahmbhatji that my portion which we have stop here, and human health, and then the some kind of this religion portion and this ancient part where they have some kind of this climate change activity, the how to mitigate them. So these two interested content of this topic we have to discuss, and this discussion which are going on. So I stop my this portion topic regarding that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mike, sir, Mike. CG, sir, Mike.
Thank you very much, Bharat. For session is very interesting and very informative for our participant. Sir, I am thankful to for on behalf of HRDC and Gujarat University for your presence here and valuable knowledge, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Friend, I introduced to second resource person, Dr. Rakesh M. Rawal sir. He is working as a professor, Department of Life Science, and coordinator, Department Biochemistry and Forensic Science of Gujarat University. Friend, before that he was working as a senior scientist officer and head department of medicinal chemistry at the Gujarat Cancer and Research Institution. Friend, he published more than 75 national and international research papers. He is in scientific advisor board of several prestigious institutions. His area of research includes mainly cancer biology, stem cell biology, and bioinformatics. Recently, he polyherbal formulation named Immurise is approved for the clinical trial by Ayush Department of Government of Gujarat. He is he has been invited to deliver a guest lecture in various national and international conferences also. Sir, I welcome you on behalf of HRDC. Sir, I invite you for your session, Dr. Rao.
Thank you very much, sir. And it is a good evening to both my senior colleagues, Modi sir and Maitre sir, and to all the participants who are there. So now let me take charge from where Maitre sir has left the innings. And my responsibility is now more, as though I'm not basically from the expert field of climate change, but my background is more of cancer biology. But somehow my work area is associated with human health. So I will try to focus on those areas where the change in climate, how it is affecting the human health and ultimately various diseases. So can I share my slides, sir?
Yeah. Yes.
Is it visible now?
No, sir. नीचे शेयर ऑप्शन है सर.
हाँ.
Sir, window application. Yes, sir. Application.
I think it is visible now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So my today's topic is on climate change and its impact on human health. So if you, I think the concept of climate change has been well described by Professor Maitre. So I will directly come to the various impact areas on which this climate change has really impacted. And these are majorly the air pollution, food and waterborne diseases, the flood patterns, the temperature extreme, food security, allergen and pollens, vector-borne diseases, and in case of human, it is more of mental health and stress-related disorders and wildfire. So usually these areas are covered when we talk about climate change and its impact. And if we look at the climate drivers, these are usually temperature is one of the factor as described by Professor Maitre. So increased temperature, precipitation, or extreme weather events, even sea level changes or rise, and ultimately that affects the various exposure pathways, including the overall heat of the atmosphere, poor air quality, reduced food and water quality, and the changes in infectious agents, and that pushes the population displacement. And when these pathways are altered, possibly that affects the overall outcome in terms of health. So possibly the heat-related illnesses, cardiopulmonary illnesses, food, water, and vector-borne diseases, mental health. So all these are possibly the impact areas of the climate change. So if we take the simplest one, that is air pollution, and we all are aware of the fact. But there are two major domains in case of air pollution that is being discussed globally nowadays. One of them, so we all are aware of the ozone layer, which is protecting us from UV radiation, but we are ignoring the ground level ozone that is being produced intentionally and accidentally due to either heat, concentration of precursor chemicals, methane. So here usually the nitrogen oxide radicals and volatile organic carbon compounds, when these are accidentally, they get reacted to each other in presence of sunlight, which acts as a catalyst possibly to foster this reaction, and that leads to formation of ozone in the ground level. So how these ground level ozone is causing a problem, because we know that ozone is more of protective, but that is protective when it is in the upper layer of the atmosphere. But once it is there in the ground level, it causes various distress in human health. The second aspect of air pollution is the particulate matter as a part of air pollution. And this particulate matter, it is originated due to chiefly the smoke and the wildfire emissions, where the forest fire and all these are part of that, and that's a bigger issue in several parts of the world, including some part of India. So whenever there is formation of smog and wildfire emission, it usually affects the lung function, because air is there and that is the essential part of breathing function. So diminished lung function, and specifically in patients with asthma, it is a disaster. Besides this, it also affects, that is a global survey, that there are additional premature deaths, so around 1,000 to 4,300 additional premature death due to the particulate air pollution is going to be there per year, and that will ultimately or indirectly will add an additional healthcare cost of around $6.5 billion. So these air quality is usually assessed in terms of air quality index. So that tells you when air pollution is likely to reach level that could be harmful to human health. And these are the 6 major pollutants which are included in calculating the air quality index. That is ground level ozone, particulate matter, carbon monoxide, level of lead, nitrogen dioxide, and sulfur dioxide. So these in combination or in toto, they predict the air quality index, and that is being published by an agency which produces National Ambient Air Quality Standards. So it is published in the form of NAAQS, NAQS. And that NAQS every year, I think that gives you a standard that how much ppm or ppb level of these pollutants are safer for human health. And once you go beyond that, possibly that is an alarming limit. So similarly, this particulate matter, these are classified in PM 2.5 and PM 10 based on their molecular size of 2.5 micron and 10 micron. So the ground level ozone, as I told, it is a reaction of nitric oxide and volatile organic carbon in presence of heat and sunlight. It gives rise to ozone. And this ground level, or this is called as the bad ozone. And it is not emitted directly into the air, but it is created by this chemical reaction. And these emissions are mainly from the industrial facility because they produce NOx and VOC, or they are from motor vehicle exhaust, gasoline vapors, chemical solvents. So all these industrialization is ultimately adding up this NOx and VOC into the lower atmosphere. So and it chiefly occurs in the Earth's upper atmosphere at ground level. So what we call it as smog. So what is a good ozone and what is bad ozone? So the stratospheric ozone, which is a protective layer that shields us from the sun's harmful UV rays. And now, due to climate change, there is a hole in the ozone. So now we are more concerned for the ozone depletion rather than the ground level ozone. And even in this hole in ozone or ozone depletion in the stratosphere is partially destroyed by our man-made chemicals, so whatever we have contributed in the name of industrialization. Whereas tropospheric ozone, which is appearing in the form of smog also, it is created by chemical reaction. And it has been reported that 0.07 parts per million is possibly the alarming limit, and beyond that, possibly we are going to be affected and our health is going to be affected. So breathing elevated concentration of ozone, so this ground level ozone, can trigger a variety of responses such as chest pain, coughing, throat irritation, and airway inflammation. And all these symptoms we all of us must have faced during various time in throughout the year. But possibly during the COVID pandemic, we could breathe the free fresh air for a few months. But now again, we are back to routine. And these ozone air quality, so there are surveys of around 2 to 3 decades. So 1980 to 2019 data are currently published, and that shows that gradually we are declining and we are coming towards normal in the monthly average or the yearly average of the ozone air quality. But still, whatever ground level ozone that is produced is of some bad quality in various parts of the world. The second most important air pollutant is the particle pollution, and that is being contributed by the dust, dirt, soot, smoke, and drops of liquid, that is the moisture or the any liquid form of what is pollutant that is being released into the atmosphere. And usually the various contributors are the construction that is going on throughout the city across the year, then the vehicle emission or the industrial emission that is being there, and it is accumulating in our troposphere. So the coarse or bigger particle, which we call it as PM10, it is mainly acting as an irritant to our eye, nose, and throat, because these are bigger particle and they cannot enter into our cell. Whereas the fine or smaller particle which we are concerned about is PM 2.5, and that is more dangerous as compared to the PM10. And it gets deeper into the part of lung or the mucosal barrier that is there, and it can even enter into our blood. And that's the reason we are more concerned for PM 2.5. And nowadays, you must be seeing the digital display of what is the PM 2.5 level in that particular area or in that particular city at that particular point of time. There is also a decline in the PM10 air quality and PM 2.5 air quality in this last 3-decade average. The third part is lead, which is a cause of concern in the air pollution. The sources of lead emission is the ore and metals processing and the engine of aircraft operation, because they use the aviation fuel that also emits if it is not unleaded. So you must have seen in many petrol pumps that unleaded petrol. So possibly if it is unleaded petrol, the emission of lead as a part of vehicle emission is less. Still, aviation fuel are many places it is not the unleaded one, but it is leaded aviation fuel, and that spreads more of lead in the upper atmosphere. Waste incinerators, utilities, even the lead acid battery manufacturers and lead smelters. So there are many mineral mining and all these industries. They put up or they contribute lead air pollution. But ultimately, the increase of lead in the air will cause toxicity to any living organism, including human being. And lead distributes throughout the body in the blood, and it is accumulated in the bone. So that is the major issue. And it adversely affects the nervous system. That means there are chances of getting irritability, forgetfulness, or even several anxiety disorders. It also affects our kidney function, and it also affects our immune system. So once our immune system is compromised, then susceptible to many other opportunistic infections. It also affects the reproductive and developmental system, and including the cardiovascular system. So it is not sparing anything. So kidney, heart, reproductive system, immune system, nervous system, all these are being affected by these heavy metals. It affects the oxygen carrying capacity of the blood because it alters the binding capacity of hemoglobin with oxygen. It also affects the behavioral problem, deficit, and lower IQ in children. So this is a major cause of concern because this is the next generation to whom we are giving this life. And decreased growth and reproduction in plants and animals, and including the neurological deficit, mainly in the vertebrates. So this is only one of the major heavy metal toxicity, and think of the total heavy metal contribution in the form of industrialization that we are pouring in to our air that we are breathing. So here, this is also a 3-decade survey of 4-decade survey of the lead air quality, and we are slightly going down, declining, and that is because of in the last 3-4 years. That is because of the alternative fuel source that we are opting, and possibly the electric car or electric vehicle can contribute to decreasing the lead air quality. Similarly, this is also a national average of carbon monoxide air quality in the last 4 decades. One more thing is nitrogen dioxide pollution, and the nitrogen dioxide primarily gets in the air from burning the fuel. So burning fuel is the major contributor, and it comes from emission of our vehicles, power plants, and off-road equipment. And as I told, nitrogen dioxide, along with other nitrogen oxides, it reacts with other biochemicals in the air to form both particulate matter as well as ozone. So if it mixes with VOC, it will form ozone, and it mixes with other oxides, it will form larger particle, either in the form of PM 2.5 or PM10. And both of these are harmful when inhaled to respiratory system. And this nitric oxide, it interacts with water, oxygen, and other chemical in the atmosphere, and it ultimately gives acid rain. So that was already discussed by Professor Maitre. This nitric oxide in the atmosphere, it contributes to nutrient pollution also, because ultimately whatever rain that is showered, it goes to the soil, and the plant takes up those water molecules, and ultimately the whole nutrient chain is being affected by that. It is also affecting the coastal water, and that's how the whole food chain is getting affected. So this is also a 4-decade nitrogen oxide air quality average. So it is really going down in terms of the concentration of nitrogen dioxide in parts per billion level. But we are progressing on this. One major oxide, that is sulfur dioxide, is a contributor to the overall pollution that we are facing. So it is resulting from burning of either the metallic sulfur or any material which contains sulfur as a part of its constitution. And when it burns in presence of oxygen, it will give rise to sulfur dioxide. So burning of fossil fuel by power plant and other industry is an example of that. And short-term exposure of sulfur dioxide can harm the human respiratory system and make breathing difficult. And at higher concentration, this gaseous sulfur oxide can harm trees, plants. It damages the foliages and decreasing growth. I think that has been also discussed. And this also contributes to form particles with reduced visibility. So many times in the early morning, we see haziness in the overall visibility in many parts of metros or mega cities like Delhi, Mumbai. There is also an improvement in sulfur dioxide air quality of the last 4-decade average. But if we purely focus on the health effect, as we discussed for all those pollutants, it is mainly acting on our respiratory system, and therefore the patients with asthma or COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases, are the chief contributor of that. And the incidence of these patients, asthma and COPD, is increasing day by day. Along with that, there is increased incidence of heart diseases, including strokes. So while calculating or quantifying the impact of these pollutants on human health, people are developing some predictive model where the future rate of health impact is calculated on the basis of the baseline health status that is currently there, multiplied by the expected change in exposure, looking at the type of industrialization that we are expecting, or the type of behavioral pattern of the individual, and times the exposure response function. So some people are quantifying on that, and by that calculation, we can predict the futuristic health impact of the climate change in future. It has also been predicted, or it has also been reported that with any pre-existing conditions like Alzheimer, asthma, chronic COPD, the possible influence of climate change is there, and possibly it will make the life more miserable as compared to their physiological conditions. So diabetes, cardiovascular disease, mental illness, obesity, so these all are reported disease classes or health conditions which has got probable impact of climate change. We are also concerned, so these are all related to the air pollution or the water pollution, which directly or indirectly affect the human health. There is one more bigger area where the vector-borne diseases are also affecting human health. So disease carried by vectors, and it has a long list, but we all are aware of I think 3 major mosquito carriers like dengue, chikungunya, malaria. But besides that, a long list of vector-borne diseases is there: Lyme, virus, plague, Rift Valley fever. So many viral or bacterial diseases which are being carried out by several vectors is a cause of concern. So what is the cause that these vectors have shown some altered pattern? Many a times it is not only the vector which is the culprit, but it is the host itself can be the causative factor, like increasing trade. So increasing trade has shown more dynamism or exchange of say human or exchange of the live animal or live organisms across the continent or within the country in the different parts. So increasing trade has increased the mobilization or movement of living organisms either within the continent or between the continent. And because that is because of the travel to different parts, including the tropical and subtropical areas. So I think current pandemic is the biggest and live example for that, because it was initiated in one part of the world, and since it was the stage where people across the globe used to visit for trade and businesses, and that has acted as an epicenter. Now the whole world is facing the consequence. So that is the impact of the climate change, right? So a small scale difference in the weather will also change, or it will impact the various vector life cycle, or the various vectors behavioral pattern, or their reproductive pattern, or their carrier pattern. Besides that, the human modification of the landscape is also one of the major causes. Diversity of animal host and human behavior that affect vector human contact. So if you look at the feeding pattern of human in different part of the world, we will come to know how this vector carrying a disease can come to us as a carrier. And it has widely affected the altered pattern of migration in birds and animals due to this climate change. So ultimately, who is at risk with this climate change? Who is at risk? So the all population, but some are more vulnerable. So as I discussed earlier, people with pre-existing illnesses, they are the vulnerable population. Newborn children, elderly, and those are already ill, or those are living in poverty, these are at higher risk. So those are living in poverty, indirectly they are malnourished because they are not able to afford the standard nutrition or diet, and that's how they are more susceptible to various infections due to their livelihood, due to their lifestyle, due to their immunity. And the climate change risk factors, if you summarize, it is probably the UV radiation, the animal and plant allergen, the ozone, particulate matter, heat, the animal vectors or the reservoir, which are the animals, and environmental in the form of food, water, air, whatever we say. These are mainly associated with communicable diseases where a vector is involved, or the whole air or the particulate matter is involved, whereas rest of the thing are non-communicable disease, but they are affecting due to your own lifestyle habit. It has also been reported that climate change is also affecting the fertility of this new generation. So if you look at the infertility clinics are mushrooming. Why so? Suddenly, why people are becoming infertile? And one of the factor is being associated with climate change, because it has been reported that the spermatogenesis process is purely temperature dependent. It occurs optimally at a temperature slightly lower than that of the body temperature. And therefore, this thermoregulated property of the fertility is one of the factors. Second one is the hormone disruptors, which are there in our diet, whether it is milk, whether it is any other fast food. So there are a lot of hormone disruptors which are either coming from the plastic bottles that we use, or it is the hormones that is being given to the wild animals for increasing its the body mass, or whatever, say, yield of milk and all those. So there are hundreds of different sources of these hormone disruptors, and that are being included as a part of our lifestyle. And ultimately, these hormone disruptors, along with the poor quality air that we breathe, the poor quality food or water, and ultimately it affects our fertility cycle. One more, the biggest and my area of interest is on climate change and cancer, because that is the area in which I work. And the various factors that contributes to carcinogenesis is the environmental exposure of ultraviolet radiation that induces skin cancer. The air pollutants can contribute to lung cancer. Disruption in the food and water supply may also include several carcinogens and ultimately induces cancers. These environmental toxins, increased exposure to dietary carcinogens such as aflatoxins or other toxins may also contribute. So this is the final slide of mine, and it has summarized whatever that I've discussed till now. And this is the overall impact of climate change on human health. Thank you all.
CG sir,
Mike,
please
sir.
unmute. Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. Your session is very interesting and very useful to our participant. You are explaining in a very easy and simple way. All participant to useful to us. Next resource person and last resource person, Dr. Nainesh Modi. He is working as associate professor at the Department of Botany, Informative and Climate Change Impact Management, School of Science, Gujarat University. Dr. Modi was awarded with the PhD degree from Gujarat University in 2003. He has published 40 research paper, national and international conference. He delivered so many lectures in national and international. Under his guidance, more than 18 MPhil and PhD students. Dr. Modi is a reviewer various scientific national and international journal also. Sir, I welcome you on behalf of HRDC and all the participants. I request you, Dr. Modi sir, please deliver his session. Dr. Modi sir.
Thank you, Brahmbhatt sir. Thank you, HRDC, Gujarat University. I also thank Professor Jagdish Joshi and his team, Dr. C.G. Brahmbhatt and Preeti Miyani, and entire team of the HRDC, Gujarat University, for providing such opportunity to deliver a lecture on climate change. See, things have been explained in depth by my colleagues, Professor Bharat Maitre, as well as Professor Rakesh Rawal. So, when you are a last speaker, it is difficult to justify the topic, because most of the things have been already covered by the previous speakers, as they are one of the best faculties in our Gujarat University. So I have just decided to just focus on a different angle. See, everybody has now, particularly a person who is in a teaching fraternity or who is little bit aware or who is reading newspaper is aware of this changes occurring in the climate, right? Big organization in the world, even all countries, including WHO, UNICEF, and all of them are trying to focus and trying to just analyze the changing things. Okay. But this is the thing which is not occurring since last few years. Okay, the climate change, the climate is changing since the inception of the entire world or universe, right? Climate is actually it is a changing thing. It is not a stable thing. But as my earlier speakers just showed that the changes occurring in last few decades or century, they are threatening, because we are changing our climate in such a rapid speed that in future our next generations will curse us. They are going to definitely curse us. The human activities which are going on, they are responsible for the climate change. Now, what is the solution? People will talk about the solution in the scientific context. But solutions are already there in your ancient literature. Solution for this climate change is already there in your ancient literature, ancient practices, due to some effects of other cultures. We as Indian are generally neglecting our own traditions, while our own traditions suggest that there are practices in our traditions to just worship different parts of our nature. Everybody knows many things that in our religion, different devs and devis, they have been associated with particular organism that we know. We have many such traditions. These things, our rishis, they were learned persons. Remember, the ancient rishis were actually, I believe that they were scientists. And they just wrote things in a very simple way. Okay. And just many of our ancestors, they follow those things, they follow those rules, and our climate was quite better than it is today. So I want to focus on the things which are already written in our literature and perhaps partially ignored by us. So there are solutions already available, and we will focus on those solutions today. Let me share my presentation. Sorry, just a minute. So things are already there, and we were actually practicing those things, right? But nowadays, due to westernization, or what we can say, modern practices, we are neglecting these things. So my topic of today's talk is introspection of Indian religions for climate change. See, these things all are already discussed by the two renowned previous speakers. But just what is climate change? That is changing rain and snow patterns, migration and life cycles, less snow and ice, right? Stronger storms, higher temperatures and more heat waves, more drought and wildfires. Such things are occurring due to climate change. These things are already also discussed, that temperature increase, reduce agriculture need, season cycle disturbance, wildfires, extinction of species. See, IPCC, that is the according to its report, since pre-industrial times, human activities have caused approximately 1 degree Celsius of global warming. At current rate, would reach 1.5 degrees Celsius between 2030 to 2052. That is the report of IPCC. So we are going to increase 1.5 degrees Celsius temperature, average temperature. Okay. And during this course of time, we have already witnessed 8% loss of Arctic sea ice in last decade. Just in a decade, we have lost 8% of the ice. Okay. And simultaneously, 1 to 2 centimeter increase in sea level per decade is going to occur. It is occurring and it is going to continue in future also. For India, according to the IPCC A2 scenario, marked increase in both rainfall and temperature over the 21st century projected. Maximum increases in rainfall may occur over central India. These are the predictions. Temperatures projected to increase by 3 to 4% towards the end of the century. So these are the projections according to IPCC. Now, what are the effects? The change in climate has consequences on the biophysical also. These changes have already had an observable impact on biodiversity at the species level in terms of phenology, distribution, and populations, and ecosystem level in terms of distribution, composition, and function. So, from minute species level to major ecosystem level, the changing climate is showing its effect. But these effects are adverse effects. Okay. So, according to IPCC AR4, approximately 10% of species assessed so far will be at an increasingly high risk of extinction for every 1 degree rise in global mean temperature. So you can understand 1 degree Celsius temperature increases, approximately 10% of these present species are on threshold of extinction. Same way, aquatic freshwater habitats and wetlands, mangroves, coral reefs, Arctic and alpine ecosystems, and cloud forest are particularly vulnerable. These things are vulnerable if we talk about the climate change. These endemic species have been identified as being particularly vulnerable because of narrow geographic and climatic ranges. You can see in the picture, their habitats are gradually decreasing actually. So where will they go? If there is no ice on Arctic region or polar region, the polar bear will go where? They are going to disappear from this entire world. Okay, so these are the things which is going to happen, and it has already started. You have been evident that a house sparrow, which was very abundant in our area in entire India. Okay, the small house sparrows, for instance, that once abundant in India are today fast disappearing. perhaps it is disappeared in most of the areas, right? In 2002, the World Conservation Union added small house sparrow from common bird to the red list of endangered species. And that occurred due to toxic chemical cocktails in their food chain. Okay. The species extinction rates are now running at least 1,000 times higher than the normal rate determined by natural selection. And the diversity of plants and animals is including carbon, it is including carbon capacity, sorry, carbon emission is above the Earth's carbon fixing capacity. So whatever carbon which we are producing, that is above the capacity of the plants which are present. Means plants are the, as Bharat sir just showed the entire process, the plants have capacity to thus grab this carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. But we are producing carbon dioxide beyond that capacity of the plants, right? Plants may be just this angiosperms and gymnosperms surrounding us, and even the smaller, starting from smaller algae to huge sequoia. All of them are carbon. They can capture carbon dioxide, and they produce this food for us. But whatever carbon dioxide we are producing, that is beyond the capacity of their these plants. Okay. More importantly, several great civilizations. You may have heard about the Indus Valley culture, right? There were certain movies, Bollywood movies are also there. But we have been generally having a impression that due to the foreign those invaders, those civilizations have been just destroyed or ruined. But there are certain evidences that the such Indus Valley culture like civilizations, they were not ruined due to the foreign invaders or other attack of other armies, but actually that was due to climate change. Okay. It occurred due to the ecological disasters. Okay, just for an example, the drying up of the holy river Saraswati around 1900 BC, right? So, in past, climate has played a big role on the civilizations, and even today it is playing a greater role on this different lives. Now, I want to just incorporate two things, the climate and religion. Okay. So, some of you may be having an idea that religions are not having any answer for this climate change. But I will try to just show few things, that there are some things which are already written, as I said earlier. Like we have already, we are knowing this truth that Vasudeva Sarvam. It means the divine is present in all beings. See, already written that divine is present in all beings. Means means God says that I am present in each and every part of this world. So how can we ruin? Do you understand? Such kind of message is given in such a way that you have to protect the entire world, each and every individual, each and every living things as well as non-living things, right? Then very popular Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Okay, so everything is a part of one interconnected global family, both spiritually and practically. So here there is again one kind of the same thing, that we all are family, including the living things as well as non-living things. So how can we harm our family member? Right? Such kind of messages are given here in our ancient literature. Then the another one is the Sarva Bhuta Hita, right? Promoting the welfare of all beings in the highest dharma. Okay, that is the highest dharma. What is the highest dharma? Promoting the welfare of all beings. So not thinking only about the self welfare of the all beings. So such kind of things are, if we turn around, okay, the last point which I want to uh, just show you in this slide, that the planting of trees in a village of ancient India, that was celebrated as the festival of trees according to Matsya Puran. Things are already given there. People were celebrating tree plantation as a festival in past. Okay. So they were knowing the importance of the trees. According to Vara Puran, that states that one who plants mango tree, listen carefully. This is not my words. These are the words from our ancient literature, that is the Vara Puran. One who plants the mango tree does not go to hell. And similarly, the Vishnu Dharmottara claims that one who plants a tree will not suffer after death. So there are messages of growing trees. One thing. Okay. According to the Arthashastra, which was written by Kautilya, the famous Kautilya, right? In 4th century BCE, concerns not only economic topic but also a wide range of societal issue. That is the book's actual essence. Such as, for instance, the fines for destroying trees, sacred groves, and forest. In Arthashastra, such things have been mentioned, that a person who is destroying tree or destroying sacred grove or a forest is going to be punished in the state. So much importance is given to the trees and forests, right? Protecting trees and forests was still a common practice even 280 years ago, when villagers from the Bisnoy community, that is a very famous Bisnoy community, in recent past decades, they even past decades, they were fighting for protection of that black bug also. You may have heard for that. And they belongs to Rajasthan state. They willingly accepted death after defy the cutting of trees by royal servants. Royal servants came there and they started cutting trees for the palace of their emperor. People sacrifice their life to just protect trees. Okay. Particularly a village woman, Amrita Devi. Okay. She started just sacrificing her life, and many villagers followed. Okay. Before the king came to the place and he stopped that process of cutting trees, before that, many villagers, they just sacrificed their lives. So even not in ancient times, even just before 300 years, people sacrificed their life to protect the environment, right? So there are certain stotra, okay, or certain slokas available which emphasize the importance of climate, right? Like Samudra Vasane Devi, Parvatasta Namandite, Vishnu Patni Namastubhyam, Padasparsa Shamaswame. That means Mother Earth, who has the ocean as clothes, adorned by mountains and forests, and is the consort of Lord Vishnu, I bow to you to please forgive me for touching you with my feet. So such an importance or respect is given to the Mother Earth. That person is just asking for the asking for the forgiveness for touching the Mother Earth by the leg. The second sutra, that is from Matsya Puran, Dasa Kupasama Vapi Dasa Vapi Samo Radha Dasa Radha Samaha Putro and Dasa Putra Samo Drumaha. That means a pond equals to 10 wells and a reservoir equals to 10 ponds. A sun equals 10 reservoirs and a tree equals 10 suns. So here the importance of tree has been already mentioned, that how a tree is beneficiary to the nature and yourself also. Certain religious ethics are already there. All religions, directly or indirectly, they suggest or they emphasize on the protection of the environment and the maintenance of the entire climate. See, the examples have been already given, that ancient Egyptians, Baha'i faith, Buddhism, Christianity, all of them are focusing directly or indirectly on the maintenance of climate, right? Even Hinduism, even in Islam, spirituality, Zoroastrianism, every individual, every individual religion, they focus on this. Okay, but just we have to observe these things. We'll start with Hinduism. We'll focus on 2, 3 only today because the time is the main constraint. The Hinduism says that Hinduism is a dharma, religion, or way of living. Okay, you can say anything. Supreme Hindu Trinity represent the, as you know, generating, that is Brahma, operating, that is Vishnu, and destroying, that is Mahesh. Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. And that is for all things, living as well as non-living things. Hinduism concept stands on the idea of God is present in every living and non-living object. Again, right? You have to protect or you have to love living things as well as non-living things. And if you love these things, you are not going to destroy or disturb these things. This was the actual logic. Ecological sensitivity is based on the relationship between humans and how they respect the gods and goddess related to the earth. See, we have already been given certain organisms, whether it may be a plant or animals, right? They have been incorporated with this our gods, right? Different devs and devis. These are the Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. As you know, the creator, operator, and the destroyer. You can see different our planets, which are generally we call it as a Navgraha, have different vehicles, right? Why our ancestors just connected these two, the grahas and the vehicles? Just if you are worshipping, just like if you are worshipping Surya, then you are not going to harm the horse. Okay, same thing for different. If you are worshipping Guru, then you are not going to. If you have a simple idea that Guru is associated with the elephant, then you are going to love elephant. In such way, we have been indirectly taught by our religions just to protect different organisms. And if you protect different organisms, then the entire ecosystem is going to be protected properly. And in such way, the you are not going to harm the climate, or no bigger climate change is going to happen. See, there are different five tattvas according to our ancient belief, that Agni, then Varun, and the rain, then Prithvi, and the Bhuvneshwari, that is considered as the goddess of Avkash or space. So these five things are also very properly mentioned, and it is also said that you have to protect all these five things, right? You can see the famous Narsimha, Sri Ganesh, as well as Vara, where the body is human and the head or the face is of other organisms, animals. Just this is giving just such kind of indirect message just to protect such organisms, right? Uh, the great Hanumanji, again, the face is of some other animal. Nandi and Kamdenu, they are also very symbolic in our Hinduism, right? Here are some examples from the Veda. According to the Rig Veda, do not cut trees because they remove pollution. Already written there before thousands of years. Yeah, according to Yajur Veda, do not disturb the sky and do not pollute the atmosphere. Again, even in Charak Samhita, destruction of forest is taken as destruction of state, and reforestation an act of rebuilding the state and advancing its welfare. Protection of animals is considered as the sacred duty in Charak Samhita. See, these are the traditional things. We have left just 4 minutes, so we will go little faster. In Hinduism, these are the traditional traditions to worship different plants also. Like this is the uh, Vat Vriksha Puja, then Tulsi Viva, then People Puja. These are the traditions already there in our routine life. Even the Chhat Puja, where you just bow the sun, right? You also give the message for the importance of the water. Even Kuwa Pujan, that is also very famous, which gives you the idea or message for protecting the resource of the water. Same the Ganga Aarti. These all things, they directly or indirectly just give you same message. Karwa Chauth, as Surya Puja, same Chandra Puja and everything, right? Even our architecture, we have just been given a proper way of understanding the entire earth, right? In our Vastu Shastra. Jainism also teaches us a very good message. I think for me, the Jainism is the best ever written script for the environment and the climate. Because according to, if you follow the rules of Jainism, you are not going to harm a single organism, right? So here, according to that, a monk is considered to live the purest human life. The most is keeping with Jainism, right? Fasting is very given most importance in the Jainism, right? And the fasting is to get as close to non-consumption and non-interference in the world as possible. See, when you are fast, you are not going to interfere or not going to consume a single thing from this food chain. Okay, so that is going to detach you, and you are not going to harm the entire the climate, right? Again, the second point where it is very important, they're staying away from certain foods that would kill the whole plant and cause more digging. When you eat roots, going to kill the whole plant. So Jainism generally avoid eating the roots, right? Even meat eating is now it is linked to global warming, but in Jainism it has been already taught that you can't eat meat. Nowadays, according to the reports by recent reports from United Nations that said that rising animal for food generates more greenhouse gases than all the cars and trucks in the world combined. See, now they are saying, okay, you should not eat meat or animals because they produces more greenhouse gases. But our religions have already written those things, right? Before centuries or before some millenniums, right? So again, that enlightens us to make minimal use of fire, energy, and water. Same, just to protect the environment, right? You should avoid vehicles. That is again written before centuries in Jainism. Okay, so these are the things which suggest that our religions, they teach us to be eco-friendly, right? Both the religions, major religions in that is the Hinduism in our country, and one of the ancient religion is also Jainism, and both of them teaches us to just become a eco-friendly person. Okay, these are the some core beliefs of Jainism. As it is now 5 o'clock, I will just go through these slides only. Modern way, how can a person can just live with Jainism? That is less use. One thing, that is the less use. Okay, buy less, use minimal, and recycle more. That is the motto. Just if you want to protect the environment, or if you want to mitigate with the problem known as climate change. See, these are the Devis and Devtas, Padmavati Devi and Manibhadra Veer, and many more. They are also been linked with different animals, just to give that message of protection or conservation. Okay, even such things are in Buddhisms, right? Even in Catholic beliefs also, or as I said earlier, most of the religions, they directly or indirectly just suggest you to protect these things. These are the things I'm going to end it up, and I think that's enough. Some references which I just collected the information from various sites and various books, and I think that is the end of presentation. Uh,
जी सर.
as I said, everybody. Just I want to conclude in this way that see, global warming is there. See, climate change is there. Everything is changing due to our own activities. No else is responsible. See, Mother Nature is not responsible. We ourselves, we are responsible. But if we look into our ancient literature, many things have been already written there. Uh, I think this is a time to take a U-turn. See, modernization is also important for the next generations, but we should not, or we must not just forget the things which are already written in our literature, and that is they are giving actually a solution, right? Just worshipping different plants, different animals, right? Even we worship Varun Dev, even worship the Varsharani, we worship the everything, five tattvas. If we take care of such things, then there will be no climate change, right? If we reduce our whatever the things which we require, if we reduce our requirements, again we can help or we can serve this mother climate, okay, or mother nature. I will conclude with these words. Thank you very much, the HRDC and the entire team of the speakers, the learned speakers. I thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Your session is very highly informative, sir, and very interesting, sir. You are right. We are responsible for that global
Yes.
warming and climate change. Friends, first I would like to thank our Vice Chancellor, respected Dr. Himanshu Pandya, sir, and Pro Vice Chancellor Dr. Jagdish Basa, sir, and Registrar Dr. PM Patel, sir, for their constant support and motivation. Uh, I also equally thank to three resource person today, Dr. Bharatbhai Maitre, Dr. Nilesh Modi, and Dr. Rakesh Rawal, sir, for their presence and sharing their views and knowledge. Thank you very much, sir. I am also thankful to all the participants choose our HRDC, and I also thankful to our HRDC whole team. Thank you very much, sir. All of you. Goodbye. Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you
much,
very
sir.
much, sir, and thank you very much all participants for just listening us very patience with very patience.
Ji.
Thank you all, and hope
Okay.
you just meeting you again and again. Thank you.
Ji, sir. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.